It's awesome. Good evening.
Good evening.
We have a 50% increase in female population for the last 3 classes, which is good. So, you made it. You're in the hotel. Everybody's got their room. You're sitting here. And what that means is we've assembled the perfect class. So just take a look around. Look at the perfect class. The promise of this course is that you get maximum value out of being here. Wouldn't you agree that it's an investment to have you here? I mean, you're paying a price as well as the company's paying a price, right? You're not on the job, you're not on the trade, you got work piling up. Even as we speak, emails are building over and over and over. So, not so much work that's going to come down when you leave on Friday, right? Right. Everybody's expecting?
Yeah.
Well, so the promise of the course is that you get maximum value, and that's what I'm committed to. You leave here with something that makes a difference in the quality of your life, to the point where putting up with all that you're not doing makes it worth doing this. Fair enough? So, the truth of the course is, let me tell you the truth of the course. The truth of the course is, you're leaving here on Friday. Just like every other class. You got here on Sunday, and you're going to leave here on Friday. And, how you leave on Friday really is up to you. That you leave on Friday is a fact. And they say, I'm sure you've heard good things about the course, the instructors, the people, or not. But I'm sure you have, and if you have, then that's great. But when you leave here on Friday, how you leave here is really more important, because it's not the content that we cover that's going to make this class special. It's what happens in here that makes it special. You know that? Yeah? This is a universal sign, yes? Yes. This would be no. This would be I'm asleep. You better entertain me. Just so you know, it's not television. This is an interactive course. So let me ask you a question. Just by a quick show of hands, who is ready tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to run a marathon? Anybody? How about after Rob? How about 9 o'clock when Rob leaves? Anybody ready then?
How about complete?
What's that?
Completed or?
Completed, yeah, right. On foot, not via the Ford Escape, right? Anyway, now what if you wanted to run a marathon tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.? Could you do it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You could. If you wanted to, you could. But you're not prepared. You know you're not ready, but you want to, you could. What would cause you to be able to do it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.?
I don't want to drop speech, so.
Oh, right. So 9 a.m. What would cause you, if you wanted to do it, who thinks they could do it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. not to miss Rob's speech? You think you could? 26.2 miles. If you wanted to, you could do it. Okay, good. Anybody else? Just getting around? Now, what's that? We're not counting on you for the Olympics, just so you know. But let me ask you this. What about if you wanted to do it, you were committed to do it, and you're going to do it 6 months from now? How many people think they could run a marathon? The truth is, everybody in here could. There's not a single person in here that couldn't run a marathon in 6 months if you wanted, if you chose to do it. Why? What's the difference between 6 months from now and 6 a.m. tomorrow morning? What's the difference? Training. Doesn't training make everything easier? Didn't it make connect? I just had to know that. That was just for me. But it doesn't make connect better. Right? But at least made it easier to understand what's pissing you off. Oh, that's why that's pissing me off. It's connect, right? But training does make everything easier. Wouldn't you agree? So what this week is really about, really about, is making your life easier. Because what we cover this week will apply not only to work, not only to business, but to you, your life. And the goal is to make your life easier. Anybody up for that? Anybody cool with that? Yeah. Okay, because I would imagine that you've got some areas of your life that you're frustrated with. Yes or no? You got some areas of life you struggle with. Yes or no? Maybe some things that cause you stress, anxiety, pressure. Yes? Good. You're in a room full of humans. It's no surprise that that's the case. We all deal with that, no matter what level you get to in life, no matter what age you get to in life, no matter what state in life. We live in a constant state of always dealing with something new and different, and therefore it's stressful, and just life happens. So we're going to train this week, but we're not going to train. So training makes life easier, yes? What makes training easier? Commitment, participation. What else makes training easier? Repetition helps. What else? Knowledge. Yeah, getting new information. That helps. What else?
Good instructor.
Good instructor sometimes makes it easier. Sometimes. Not always, but it does. So all those things are true, and we're also going to provide you with a team. And working with a team, that makes training easier, doesn't it? I know when I trained for my marathon, doing it alone wasn't working, so I joined a team. When that didn't work, I tricked a buddy of mine. I talked to a buddy of mine to run the marathon with me. That worked, big time. So we're going to work that way, but we're also going to have instructors and coaches. And Joe and Tim are the additional part of our team. They're the coaches, you're the team, and that'll make this week easier. Fair enough? So that's how the course is set up. And really and truly, you guys are also the coaches too, because you'll be doing a lot of work interacting with each other. There's the stuff in the manual, there's the stuff on the PowerPoint, there's the stuff I say. And all of that amounts to some of the value you'll get out of this course. And you think, well, Dominic, the manual, the PowerPoint, and what you say, really what you say, Dominic, would be fantastic. That's only a portion, it's really the smallest portion of what you'll get out of this class. What you mostly get out of this class is what you get from each other and how you work with each other and what you learn by working with each other this week, and with some coaching and some training that goes along with it. Fair enough? So that's what we're going to be doing. So the thing that I want you to remember is I'm committed you get maximum value. But what you get out of this class really is a function of what you do in here for you and what you put into the class. So one of the ways to think of that is a lot of the ideas, strategies, tools, techniques you may have already heard of. You may have already taken a class. You may have more than one binder on some of this stuff. But if it's not making a difference in your life right now, clearly something was missing that maybe this week you can put in. So this class won't be everything new, but what it will be is you'll be bringing you to that material and bringing what you're struggling with to that material in a way that would make a difference for you. Another way to say that is pull the course to you. Don't wait for the course to happen. The course has already started. You're here. You're in Winston. We've started. You got your name badge. Okay? We've started. This is it. So start pulling the course to you, to what you're struggling with, what you're dealing with in life, because that's the area that will make the most difference and impact. I've been doing personal development work since almost birth. It's 1981. I did my first workshop. And I've been studying what makes humans work and work more effectively ever since. What makes us productive? What makes us effective? What makes us happy? What makes us successful? I've been studying that for really a lifetime. And the thing that I've found out of all those courses, there's a direct relationship between what I get out of the course based on how much I put into the course. So I'm just going to invite you to keep pulling it towards you. How does this apply to me? Because this course won't work in theory. None of the stuff presented in this course works in theory. It's not designed to. It's designed to work on what you're really dealing with. Your own experience, your own life, that kind of thing. You guys? Okay. So I'm going to give you a sense of what this course is like. So if you will, do me a favor and please stand up. Please stand up, move around a little bit. Not going to hurt anybody. So what I want you to do, stand. You might want to get behind your chairs, get a little room. Don't stand too close to the wall. This is a real easy part, right? Not real active. You won't work up a sweat. But take your hands, put them shoulder width apart, and on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to clap your hands together and intertwine your fingers in the way that's most natural, most comfortable. Have you done this before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We'll find out. You should put your hands together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! All right, now, this is everybody remembers taking the little test, right? A little survey about how you dress and how, you respond to a situation. Remember that? Everybody took those? Okay. You probably took them with other people, maybe even people in here. Anybody did that? Okay, good. But this gives me a little insight, and Joe and Tim and I, a little insight as to your personality as well. So, given that, we're going to talk a little bit about the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, right hemisphere of the brain. Left hemisphere of the brain controls what side of the body? Right. So if your right thumb is on top, if your right thumb is on top, raise your hand. Right thumb's on top. Okay, good. Left thumb's on top. Raise your hand. Left thumb. How about if your thumbs are together or your hands are like this? Anybody like that? Anybody thumbs together? All right, there you go. All right, perfect. Close. You have your hands like that, not intertwined. Very good. So if your right finger is on top, that means corresponding to your left side of the brain, the logical side of the brain, you're very thoughtful, logical. If your left thumb's on top, it's the right side of the brain, the creative, emotional side, right? If your hands are together like this, or your thumbs are together, it just means you think you're creative. That's not really true. I had you there, didn't I? We're going to play like this all week. This is Sense and Other Courses Life. No, so here's what I'd like you to do. Wherever you put your hands, intertwine your fingers now. Do it this time. Intertwine your fingers. Intertwine. Wherever it's comfortable. Now, take them and move them the other way. Just switch them one finger over. Left on right and right on left. Everybody get that? How many people do? That's kind of neat. Is that creepy?
It feels wrong.
It does feel wrong, doesn't it? It does. Dominic, this sucks. Exactly. Let me ask you a question. What if, the things that really piss you off, the things you're really stressed out about, the things that put a lot of pressure on you, that frustrate you, right? What if just moving your hands so that you put them like this instead of the way you were comfortable with would make that go away? How many people would practice this? Yes or no? Yeah. Think about the things that really piss you off, really frustrate you, really aggravate you, right? If just a little change. See, the point I'm trying to demonstrate with this is that sometimes just a little change over a long enough period of time will change things that are really uncomfortable right now. Would you agree? A little discomfort now, can take big discomforts away. Can y'all agree with that? Y'all seen that in your own life happen? So, you can let your hands go now, but you get the point, right? We're gonna do things that might seem a little uncomfortable. And that's okay. You might even take on, as you leave here on Friday, with some things that are uncomfortable to start trying to do. But in the long run, would actually impact the quality of the results, the quality of your life. Is that fair enough? Because I got to tell you a little secret about human beings, what I've discovered over the last 30 years. We're mostly insane. I don't know if we're clinically insane, but we are insane. How many people know the definition of insanity? And expecting a different result. You can do the same thing over and over again, it's not insanity. Right? But when you expect a different result, that's insane. Right? That's just insane. We're mostly insane. And even if we know we're doing the same thing over and over again, what happens is there's a certain predictability, a certain certainty that comes with, well, at least I know what's going to happen, right? Married people know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I'm going to put the TV up like this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to leave the dishes like, you know what you do, and you know what it's going to cause, and you do it anyway. Some of y'all nodding, like, yeah, I do that. And the reason we do it is because there's certainty in it. There's comfort in it. Even if it's a little dysfunctional, it's still not so bad that we have to change it. Or we've resigned ourselves to believe that, well, it really can't get much better than this anyway, so, yeah. Y'all with me on that? But sometimes it's just the littlest changes. Doing something just a little different can make the difference in your life. Maybe not immediately, but at least it's a start. In the long term, the compound effect of those little changes over a long period of time make a difference. Do y'all agree with that? Okay, so we're going to talk about being uncomfortable. So if you get uncomfortable this week, that's a win for me. If you get confused this week, that's a sign that it's working. If you get frustrated or angry, short of physical violence, me particularly, then that's a win. And I'm okay with some physical violence, verbally, but I've been studying jiu-jitsu, so bring it. Maybe not you, Daniel. You just hang. You look a little strong. you might bring somebody else. But we keep doing the same things over and over again because we get comfortable with it, even if it's not functional, even if it's not working. We either resign or we have no hope for anything any better, so we just give up. Maybe this week you'll discover something new, something possible that might be worth it. And that's what we're going to work on this week. So I'm going to demonstrate what happens to us, because when we do the same thing over and over again, it does become more and more comfortable because we get conditioned for it. Everything you do right now, you're conditioned for. So we're going to do a little exercise. It's a spelling exercise. I know. It's 4 letters. The word is pots. P-O-T-S. Y'all good? I'm going to ask you to spell the word pots 3 times, really fast, clapping with each letter. Do it as fast as you can, as enthusiastic as you can. So, you're going to loosen up a little bit, right? So it's going to be P-O-T-S. We're going to do it 3 times. P-O-T-S. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to respond as fast as you can. Don't think about it. Just respond. You ready? On the count of 3, we're going to go. Ready? P-O-T-S. Go. Very good. How many people didn't answer?
I didn't hear it.
Too much snooze. So that was the condition. You answered green. You answered go. But you do the green one, right? Sometimes a good trick. Let's try it again. Let's do a different word. This word, I'll step back. The word is roast. I'm going to spell the word roast. This time, really fast, enthusiastic, ready to go. R-O-A-S-T. Just in case you know.
3 times?
3 times, ready to go, roast! Oh. You put a toaster. Toaster. No, you don't put toast in a toaster, Mr. Smart. You put bread in a toaster, otherwise you get croutons. What happened? Why'd you answer toast? What's that? You think toast, roast, right? This is this automatic brain connection. It's a little bit of conditioning, right? As you play this exercise a little bit, it happens. Sometimes you get a little clever, you get, oh, I'm listening, all that kind of stuff. So, but it's a matter of conditioning. We're conditioned for the results we're producing in life. How do I know that? How do I know you're conditioned to produce the results at the level you're producing them on a regular, consistent basis in your life right now? How do I know? Because you're producing the results. It's easy for you and it's comfortable for you. You're in a habit. And in times of stress, we revert to habit. And it doesn't matter what you think about it, you still tend to revert to habit. Does that make sense? Because we're conditioned for those things. So, it lends into a conversation I want to talk about in our human brain. We're gonna work on your brain this week as much as anything else, and how you think. Now, how many people have heard that we use 10% of our brains? Have you ever heard that? I've heard that before, right? Actually, Mythbusters tested it. It's not true. And I don't think it's true either. We use our whole brain. It's just that we're aware of about 10% of our brain. That's our conscious mind, our thoughtful mind, our rational mind, right? So what about the other 90%? What's it doing? You ever thought about that? You're only aware of 10% of your brain's activity. What's going on with the other 90%? You say, well, nothing. I don't need it because I'm doing good with the 10% now, right? Well, that other 90% is made up of what? 2 other brains. But the 10% is our rational brain, our thoughtful brain, call it. And I'm not giving you all the exact terms, but just hang with me here, right? There's another part of our brain called our human brain, or our emotional brain. It's the part where, we feel emotions, we react, that's where the conditioning lies in, sort of our reactions come in here. And then there's our reptile brain, I like to call it, or our limbic system. The part of your brain that's actually controlling your breathing, your eye blinking, your heart pumping, your lymph flowing, all that kind of stuff, right? Anybody thinking about that stuff?
No.
No. But that part of our brain is actually, all of those three parts of our brain work very well. The problem is they don't work very well together. They don't interact well. And the way you know that is if you look in your life, if you've ever had the experience, you go, man, I shouldn't have said that. Anybody? Right? You look back and go, yeah, I should have done this, or I should have done that, right? Those kind of things, right? You ever had that experience? Am I the only one here that does it? No? Okay, good. So there's other parts of our brain that actually control our behavior. And since we're only aware of 10% of our thinking, 90% of our behavior is really driven by our unconscious, the non-conscious part of our brain, the brain that's been conditioned to behave in a certain way, or that's reacting to an environment in a certain way because of the way things look or the way things seem. Does that make sense? That's our limbic system, that reptile brain. We'll talk about the reptile quite a bit. But the good thing is to just be aware of it and know that you can do something about it. You can get those things to interact, but it takes some work. It takes some effort. Because our rational thought doesn't control our behavior. Not as much as we'd like it to. Right? And if you ever wanted to do something that you're not doing, if you ever wanted to say something you didn't want to say, or say something else, all those things are rational, but they're not conditioned. And they're not, there's something else reacting to it deep down inside our brain. We're going to talk about what can we do to impact those things. Because our rational brain does have an impact on that, but we've got to do it in a certain way. This week we're going to be talking those other pieces of the brain, even if it doesn't seem like it. To get at it and do some work on those parts of the brain so you can leave here with new habits that you can condition so that under stress you pull out those new habits instead of the old habits. One of the easiest ways to do this, I'm going to give you a challenge. The first challenge I'm going to give you this week is, how many people in here brush their teeth? Please, everybody raise your hand. All right, okay. Brush your teeth. How many people don't even think about brushing their teeth? You just brush your teeth. It's part of your routine. Tonight, hopefully, and tomorrow morning, and then every morning this week, I invite you to brush your teeth with a non-dominant hand. Use the other hand.
I don't know about that.
It's a challenge, not a demand. And I invite you to do that for a couple of reasons. One of which is to start noticing how much of your behavior is on automatic pilot. And when you break the pattern of your behavior, what that does to you consciously, so that you can start to see what it's really going to take to condition new behaviors in your life. We do things and don't even think about it. Most of you guys are in the trade, so you don't go to the same office every day, you don't go the same way every day, but have you seen or heard people say, one morning, instead of going to the office, they had a doctor's appointment, they found themselves halfway to work, just because they're on automatic pilot. They're driving a 4,000-pound vehicle on automatic pilot. That's a little scary, isn't it? So that's the first little thing you can do. If you don't brush your teeth, then you can try tying your shoes a different way or something like that, but regularly brush your teeth. And just see what happens. It's a little challenge. Everybody willing to take that challenge on? Sure. So we'll learn a little bit about ourselves as we take that challenge. What's that? You need a left-handed toothbrush. And if any of y'all have, none of y'all have that little toothbrush that they've been selling on TV lately, right?
Sonic.
The little 30-second toothbrush, like toothbrush brushing took so long already. We had to have it 30 seconds. You ever seen that one? Even that will be different. So, I'm going to give you a little example of how this really works. So, you guys are standing close to the wall. Come away from the wall. Spread out. You need a little room for this one. You need a little room. Don, you need to come up a little bit. You need to come away from the wall. Away from the wall. You need to get away from that post. So, if you move around, right? So, there's a little exercise. I want to demonstrate to you how this works away from the walls. So, all right. So, what you do is through this whole exercise, put your feet about shoulder width apart, and leave them there the whole time. Now, you guys are a little crowded. You might need to move over just a little bit. And you're kind of tough. So we'll see if it works when we move around. Once you get, let's see if we do it once. So take your right hand, point it out straight in front of you, look right down the finger with your eyes. And then what I ask you to do is turn to your right as far as you can. So Dan, you might need to move up a little away from the wall. There's a wall behind you. All right, good. And then just turn as far as you can go. And then look at the spot on the wall as far as you go, and go as far as you can, and then come back. Leave your feet where they're planted. Put your arm down, close your eyes. So just for a second, feel where you're at. Close your eyes. You're not looking at me. And in your mind's eye, what I'd like you to do is just remember doing that motion. Remember looking down the edge of your finger, turning to your right, and going as far as you can go. And notice the spot on the wall that you saw your finger. And it's just as easy as making a picture. And remember doing it. And remember going to that spot, the furthest spot you could go. Now what I'd like you to do in your mind's eye is imagine doing it again. This time go a little further. You know what was to the right of where your finger could go, the farthest you could take it? Take it, imagine in your mind's eye your finger actually going that far. And in your mind's eye, it's as easy as making a picture, just remembering what we just did in real life. Imagine your body spinning around going even further. The great thing about doing it in your mind is you can do it faster and faster and faster and go further and further and further. You might even spin all the way around. It's your imagination we're talking to. So in your mind's eye, just remember what it was like and feel the feeling of going even further. And go even further. And in your mind's eye, just keep doing it over and over and over. Just replay over and over and over, like repetition, like practice. In your mind's eye, imagine going even further. Do it one more time, going as far as you can possibly imagine, way further than you did with what you can remember. Go even further. Now open your eyes, point your finger in front of your hand, in front of your face, and twist and go as far as you can. Did anybody go further?
Yeah.
What happened?
I hurt my back.
Hurt your back. You can have a seat. You can get back in your seats. But I want you to do that exercise not to impress you, but to impress upon you that there is a relationship between what happens inside to what we produce on the outside. Everybody not go further? Everybody go further? Who didn't go further? Anybody not go further? Sometimes that's okay. You don't go further. But there's an unused, huge amount of potential that you have inside your brain right now to produce results in the real world. But we don't get trained to use it. And that's our imagination. It's been proven over and over and over again that your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real or imagined. And that's good news and bad. The good news is you actually can take control over that part of your mind that imagines things and produce results, condition yourself for results that might be better or bigger than you've ever dreamed possible. The bad news is if you don't take control of it, then whatever it is automatically, whatever it's reacting to, conditioned for, or not thinking about unconsciously is producing results in your life right now. And it ends up fighting and struggling with what you want consciously, because 90% of our brain is unconscious. So 90% of our behavior becomes unconscious. So you end up doing things, saying things, producing results in the world that you don't want, but you still have. Can y'all get that? So we're going to tap into that part of your brain. We're going to talk around, we're going to say things weird. It's going to be a little confusing. It's not going to make much sense. It's going to, like I said, that's just the design of the course, because we want to get at something else so that you can produce results that you're committed to, but may not be producing right now. And the sort of the strategy that I want you to take on, if you take on this, I want you to imagine for yourself, if you sat next to a beautiful river, and in that river, it's a beautiful day. You're grilling out, you got friends there, it's like a little beach on the river. Can you imagine that? It's like a cool day, it's not hot, it's not too hot, not too cold, right? And you're just having a great time. And all of a sudden, you hear some splashing and some faint screaming. And then as you look up, and you see up the river, and you see there's somebody in the river. It's a pretty good current in the river, so they're floating toward you. But they're drowning. So what do? That's too bad, look at that guy. Let's imagine we jump in. Let's pretend like we're saving a life. Like we know what we're doing. This would not be a good idea in real life, by the way. How many people die in drowning deaths, usually, at a time? 2. Why? Idiot drowning and the dumber idiot. If you ever get in that situation, a little tip from a former lifeguard. If you ever get in that situation, you go to jump in and save somebody, and they grab a hold of you, which they will. Don't punch them. You can punch them. It's fun to punch them. Yeah, but right to punch it. But just swim. Just, like wiggle down and try to swim because they don't want to go that way. And they'll let go of you. Then you can just tread water until they get really tired. And when they tire themselves out, then you can try to save them. Most people are too strong and their adrenaline's pumped up and then you get overwhelmed and killed. But let's pretend you've done that. And you pull that body out of the river. And you feel this amazing feeling of elation, right? Because you just saved a life. You did a great thing. You're a hero. Everybody's cheering. And in the midst of the cheers, you hear, and another body's coming down the river. So feeling good like you just did. You jump in the river, boom, you pull out the other body. No sooner you get that person on the shore, you hear another body screaming. You pull, and you jump in, you pull the body out. You jump in and pull it. Now you got to organize some help, and you got to get rope bridges, and you got to get all this stuff, and you make it. It's no fun by the river anymore, is it? Why? All you do is pulling bodies out of the river. You may be getting good at it. You may be getting more efficient. You may be getting stronger, but you're just pulling bodies out of the river. Never once stopping to say, "Who the hell is throwing these bodies in the river?" Does that sound familiar to anybody? Like emails, likes, customer calls, TM, DMs, directors. It seems like there's just body after body after body, putting out fire after fire after fire, not going to the source of what might be causing some of those rescues that have to happen. You with me? So we're going to take a trip upriver. We want to look upriver. So even if some of this stuff is new, you've heard it before, and these strategies maybe you're even implementing, maybe you could dig upriver a little bit, dig into that 90% of consciousness and see what might be causing some of these things if they happen even if only more than once. What might be the source? It might have something to do with me going upriver. Is that cool? So we're going to do a little upriver exploration. We'll refer to upriver. Let's just go and explore. Let's just check it out. Maybe there's nothing we can do about it. But maybe checking it out might stop the source of those problems we experience on a day by day by day basis. Can you look at that? So that's what we're going to work on. So, the goal is to discover something new about you. That's the goal, doing these exercises that we use. You discover something new about your favorite person, hopefully, which is you. And if you do that, maybe that new information would make the difference, to make the changes, so that you leave here and start working and conditioning those changes as we work together, so that you can experience long-lasting results and put yourself on a different trajectory instead of the way things may be going down. Is that cool? That's really the goal of what we're doing. So, so when you leave this class, you may only have the possibility of results changing, but you still got to do the work. You're going to leave here on Friday with a plan, a structure, a way, with what's most important to you to do the work on the things that are most important to you in the areas you might make the most difference for you, as opposed to leaving it with another binder. Anybody interested in a binder? How many of you have enough binders? Right? Wouldn't you rather leave here with a new future? And a possibility of things being really fundamentally different at a level that changes the quality of your relationships, the quality of your communication, the quality of your life. So you're going to leave here with that. Is that cool? And we'll do the work on that. So the last thing I want to tell you is almost before I give you your homework assignment. The last thing I'm going to tell you is that nothing I say is the truth. I don't want you to believe what I say. I want you to test it. Try on the ideas that I share with you. Look at your own experience. See how they apply. If they work and it looks like it'll make a difference for you, then take it. If not, leave the rest here. If what you're doing is already working, producing fantastic results, then leave it. Leave it alone. But if something new strikes your attention and says, you know, if I tried that, and I worked on that, and I got good at that, that might make a difference in my life, then take it. Everything else, you can just leave. I got no attachment to what you take with you. The only attachment I take is that my only commitment is that you get maximum value. That you see something about you, for you, that you can do to make your life the way you want it, the way you need it, and the way you should have it. Fair enough? Everybody got a pen and paper in front of you? Here's your assignment. Your assignment tonight is really simple. Meet at least 3 new people. Check. Ask them these 3 questions. 1, where were you born? Not a tough question. Pretty easy. Most of us can answer it. Second question. Who was your favorite teacher growing up and why? And Sam, let me explain growing up. I meant getting older out of school. You don't have to actually grow up to answer this question. So, make it easier. Who was your favorite teacher in life and why? Third question is, what scares them the most? What scares you the most? So meet 3 new people, ask them these 3 questions. This is a bonus question. Do you like bonuses? You like extra credit? Yeah. Who was the extra credit? Who was the kids who did extra credit in school? Anybody did that? Anybody liked extra credit? Here's a bonus question. What are you most excited about right now? What are you most excited about? It's a bonus. You don't have to ask it. It's not part of the assignment. It's a bonus. What are you most excited about right now? When we come back in the morning, when we meet, we'll have dinner tonight. You know, do your homework assignment, have fun. When we come back in the morning, Rob shows up at 7:30, give or take. Ish. Because he's got a meeting that happens before he gets down. It's not his first thing that he does during the day, so we just kind of get ready for him when he's ready to show up, and he stays for about a half hour or so. So I invite you to, think about what you want to ask Rob, what you want to talk to Rob about, and just for you, whatever that is. He'll talk to you about the course, he'll talk about the business, he'll talk about whatever you want to talk about for the most part. Joe's that pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then we'll start, after Rob's done, we'll take a little break and then we'll start more of the course of what we're doing. Does anybody have any, before we go, does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that we've covered so far? You guys, anybody excited? Looking forward to it. Great. There is a room 301. I don't know if we mentioned it. 301. 1 floor up, all the way down the hall. You can smoke, you can drink, you can eat, you can meet, you can talk. It's a lot of fun. The TMs will be in there too sometimes. You were here for the 301, right? Or was it at Grayland? Was it Grayland? Same thing, only no ice cream. There's ice cream down at the front desk. But up there, I highly recommend getting in there and see who establishes territory first between you and the TMs, or sometimes you all hang out, but it's a good territory establishment thing too. Get in there and see. I don't know if you're in Florida, part of the territory. But have some fun. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything else? Y'all look good? Thanks for your participation. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning bright and early. And we're having dinner right next door. So right out the door to the right, you can grab a drink and come back, and you can go eat your food and come back. See you guys in the morning. Thanks.